And this is Ken Kraetzer for CaMMVets Media. We cover cadets, midshipmen, the military, and veterans, proudly since 2008. And today we're going to talk Army West Point Wrestling. They have their big meet of the year coming up on Sunday. They'll uh, compete against their arch rival, the Naval Academy. And we're very glad to have their head coach, Kevin Ward, with us today. Coach, how are you?
Doing good, Ken. It's great to be with you.
Great to be with you. And we've got one of your seniors, Sahm Abdulrazzaq. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And
Yes,
glad to
sir.
have you here today. One of the seniors, it is also going to be your senior day um, on Sunday afternoon. And let's start with Coach Kevin Ward, who's a graduate of Oklahoma State. And tell us a little bit about your season. We saw you compete against Iowa when they came in, a very high energy night at the
Yeah.
Crystal Arena back in November, but you've been competing a lot against a lot of major programs around the country, as well as some of schools around the Northeast. Tell us a little bit about your season.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's been a challenging schedule for sure. We knew that when we started out this year, but I think the last time I looked, we have wrestled, I think it's four of the top seven teams in the country that we've seen, and numerous other top 25 programs through various competitions throughout the year. So, I mean, it's been a year of growth for us where if you look at our lineup, Saham is our only senior in the starting lineup. So it's a lot of new faces that have never, including some that haven't started full time in the past. So it's been a year of growth where guys have learned what it's like to compete November through March of a Division I wrestling season. And there's been some ups and downs, but I think when we look back at from the beginning of the season where we are now, we have to be proud of the growth that our team has shown from a relatively inexperienced group to a group now that's competed, like I said, with just heads up against four of the top seven teams in the country, and I think four or five other top 20 teams. So we're proud of our growth, and good thing about it is we get a few more weeks to do this, and we get a few more opportunities to show the progress we've made.
Sure. And, said you've had played some big names early in the season. You competed against Nebraska, some real big names when you had your Black Knight Invitational at
Yeah.
Indiana, Penn State. How did that meet go?
So the Black Knight Invite was a good one for us. I think we ended up second there in the team score. A few guys in the finals and champs. It was a good tournament where you have a mix of Big Ten teams with Indiana, Penn State being here. You have some teams from the Northeast. Campbell came up from the Southern Conference. So we had a nice mix of different conferences. That's by design. That's how we want the tournament to go. And so we're able to compete against teams that we otherwise wouldn't see throughout a regional schedule. A good tournament for us. I think we had some guys that, again, that was early, or mid-November. It seems like forever ago when you look back on it now. But yeah, some good opportunities and a lot of lessons learned there. And like I said, it was just another opportunity for us to grow and improve and get much needed experience for this team.
Let's talk a little bit to your senior, Sahm Abdulrazzaq. He's got an interesting story on how he got to West Point. Sam, tell us first off about how's your season been going?
Yes, sir. It's been a season, all right. I've learned a lot about it. As Coach Ward said, I was in and out the lineup last year, but this year I've had the opportunity to compete full time, and it's been a blessing. It's been something that I've wished for the past 4 years, and the fact that I have the opportunity to do it, I'm trying to take full advantage of it and learn as much as I can. And as Coach Ward said, like I've wrestled a lot of the top level guys in the country this year, and that's exactly what I wanted. I don't want to look back on my wrestling career and say I didn't wrestle anybody. I wrestled the best of the best, and so it's been a really good season. I've learned a lot every match. I feel like I've been able to improve and learn more and more about myself and my wrestling, and it's been a great time.
That's good. Now tell us a little bit about your route to West Point. It's a little bit different, quite a story, I understand.
Yes, sir. So I was born in Iraq, November 19th, 1999, and so it was kind of the start of the Iraq War, and I lived there, and I went through all the war, and my dad worked in the United States military as a translator slash veterinarian, and we moved a lot, and we got a lot of death threats and just things that were not going very well. So it was very unsafe in Iraq. I lived in a couple other countries for a little bit, But once my father got the opportunity as a special immigrant, which means like you'd come to America, but you couldn't get any assistance from the government or anything. So it was like a complete risk. Like my dad had to sell everything and move on within a week, leave his whole life behind, and take a risk. And he took it for us. He took it from my brother and I, because he said he wanted us to have a good life. Because when he'd come here on conferences and stuff like that, when he'd learn, he'd be like, I wish I could keep like give my kids this life. And once he got the opportunity to do it, he sold everything, and he said, I'm I'm putting everything on this, and hopefully we'll make something out of it. And it's all thanks to my parents. All this is thanks to my parents.
And going to West Point, how did you approach West Point, and what's your West Point story been like?
Yes, sir. So I did not know about West Point till like probably into my junior year in high school. I was in JROTC because I was in high school just to try to get an opportunity to attend free college because my parents couldn't afford college and I did not have many other opportunities. And I started wrestling like pretty late. So once I got into wrestling and really found a passion for it, my coach and my JROTC instructors recommended, hey, like you have pretty good grades. You're pretty athletic. Not very athletic, just I was decent at things, and he was like, hey, you should take the opportunity to apply to like one of the best schools in the country. I was like, all right. I've never heard about it, and then I was like, let me try it out. I made a portal account. I thought I applied. I thought that was it. I thought I did the application, and one day I got a phone call. I never picked up phone calls from anybody, and I got a random phone call from Miss Susan Robertson, West Point graduate, and the lady informed me that, hey, you made a portal account, but you haven't applied to West Point. I was like, what are you talking about? Like I did apply to West Point. She's like, no, you did not. I was like, what do you mean? And then brought me over to her house, and the lady was very blessed. As you can see, I've very blessed a lot of people in my life, and she helped me out through the process, and ended up at the prep school, and got to wrestling, and fell in love with the brotherhood. And my time at West Point's been a blast. It's honestly, it's been a blessing. I'm very blessed to say, like, I'm at one of the best. I'm at literally the best military institute in the world where you're able to and I'm able to compete at the highest level. I mean, I don't know what you can ask for. Honestly, it's like you get two peas and the best pie you can get. So it's
That's
been a
great.
blessing.
Well, tell us a little bit now. What are you studying at West Point, and what part of the U.S. Army are you heading out to?
Yes, sir. I'm an engineering management major, sir. And that's something. It's. I was very like lost in choosing a major because I had a lot of passions and very interest a lot of things. But I'm happy engineering management, and I branched infantry, sir. So hopefully I'll be um, going out and becoming an infantry officer within the next couple months, sir.
No, that's great. Great ambition. Tell us a little bit, just final question, what you thought about your senior day and facing a match against Navy.
Yes, sir. It's exciting, sir. I mean, that's what you live for. It's competition. I get pumped up to compete every time, and just this week, the amount of training, just us pushing through. It's just I've loved it. I have personally loved. I love working hard. I just love pushing myself and me and pushing the wall back and meeting new demons and in all aspects of mental. Hey, I want to give up sometimes, but I just can't because I know I got to keep pushing. And I'm just very excited to compete, go on, wear the Army singlet in front of a home crowd. I mean, that's been a blessing, and all the love you get from people supporting you through Instagram and through just in just personal contact. It's been a blast.
Well, you're a great representative of West Point and the Army, and you and your family. It's such a compelling story about how far you've come and where you're going in the future. So great to meet you, and our best wishes. Let's go back to Coach Kevin Ward. And Coach, can you tell us a little bit more about your big match on Sunday against the Naval Academy?
I mean, what more needs to be said? This is America's match. It's Army versus Navy in head-to-head competition. It's the intensity, the passion, the energy that goes into this wrestling dual meet. I mean, it's the best of everything that's college athletics. There's no love lost between the teams when they're out there. I mean, that's for sure. It's like, I mean, it's a rivalry and an intensity and an energy that goes into this dual meet. Like I've been in some big dual meets as an athlete and a coach. This one is really, it's unrivaled in what it represents and how hard each side is willing to compete to get their hand raised at the end. So we look forward to it for those reasons every year, and then we're certainly looking forward to the opportunity on Sunday.
Very good. And just tell us a little bit now, what is some of the postseason opportunities for your team?
Yeah, so the way the sport of wrestling works, this was our last dual meet coming up this Sunday, and then we'll move on to our conference championships, which is the EIWA, Eastern Intercollegiate Wrestling Association. So it's a 17-team league. And the way the postseason works in wrestling is a few days before that tournament, we will know at each of the weight classes, and there's 10 of them, we will know at each of the 10 weight classes what you have to place at your conference tournament out of the 17 individuals in your bracket. You'll know what you need to place to advance to the NCAA championships. It's based on the quality of the season that you and the others in your conference have had. So, I think at Sahm's weight, for instance, it's probably going to be about 5 guys. So the top 5 out of our conference will advance to the NCAA championships. And so all 10 individuals that go to the conference tournament have an opportunity. No matter what season you've had, you know what you have to place going into the conference tournament to continue and keep your dreams alive to go to the national championship. And that's the big show. I mean, the Division I wrestling championships is unlike any other champion. It'll be 18,000 people sold out for 3 days in a row. It's just as much of a Grateful Dead concert for the fans as it is for a wrestling event. I mean, it's all day for 3 days in a row, wrestling nuts in the building. And it's one of the most electric and energized tournaments that you've ever been to in the entire world. And that's our goal every year is put as many people in the championships and win as many matches there as we can.
Where is the Nationals going to be held this year?
It's in Tulsa this year. So it rotates around every year, but yeah, this year we get to go back to Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay, sounds like a great environment for college sports. Now, just want to thank everybody for joining us today. And Sunday, 2 p.m. is the Army-Navy wrestling match at the Crystal Arena right in the West Point campus. And Sahm, final thought?
Come out and support the Army team.
Okay, very good. And Coach Kevin Ward, final thought?
Yeah, I mean, it's an opportunity for us to honor Sahm and his classmates and this senior class, everything they've done for our program. And we want to send them out the right way, which is with an incredible performance. And when we focus on that, then we'll get the results that we want in the end. And we look forward to a rowdy crowd Sunday at 2 p.m. We hope you can make it. And Ken, appreciate you and your support of our program as well.
Oh, glad to do it. And, we love meeting cadets like Sahm and hearing about what you're doing at West Point. You have a great program. So we'll look forward to Army-Navy wrestling Sunday at 2:00 and then following the balance of your season. So good to see you both. Thank you. And this is Ken Kraetzer for CaMMVets Media. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, sir.